ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीराम जय जय राम। श्रीराम जय जय राम। श्रीराम जय जय राम। श्रीराम जय जय राम। राम जय जय राम जय जय राम। श्रीराम 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 जय जय राम। जय जय राम। जय जय राम। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं दनुजवनकृशानुं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। ॐ श्री हनुमते नमः। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम. As we had planned yesterday, we will now chant the complete portion and then we will set for our discussion. I hope you have the printout. रावनुरथी बिरथ रघुबीरा देखि विभीषण भयउ अधीरा अधिक प्रीति मन भासंदेहा बंदी चरण कह सहित स्नेहा नाथ नरथ नहीं तन पद त्राना केहि विधि जितव वीर बलवाना सुनहु सखा कह कृपा निधाना जेहि जय होई सो स्यंदन आना सौरज धीरज तेहि रथ चाका सत्यशील दृढ़ ध्वजा पताका बल विवेक दम परहित घोरे क्षमा कृपा समतार जुजोरे ईस भजनु सारथी सुजाना बिरति चर्म संतोष कृपाना दान पर सुबुद्धि शक्ति प्रचंडा बर विज्ञान कठिन को दंडा अमल अचल मन त्रोन समाना समझ मनियम सिली मुख नाना कवच अभेद विप्रगुर पूजा एहि सम विजय उपायन दूजा सखा धर्ममय असरथ जाके, जीतन कहन कतहु रिपुता के, महा अजय संसार रिपु, जीति सकई सो वीर, जाके असरथ होई दृढ़, सुनहु सखा सुमति धीर, सुनि प्रभु बचन विभीषण, हर्षि गए पद कंज, एहि मिस मोहि उपदेसहु, राम कृपा सुख पुंज सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। In life, there are these two very important things which we have to understand and apply. The first one is called a value, and the second one is called a virtue. What is the difference? A value is that quality that which I respect, which I adore, and which I also expect. Remember, respect, adore, and expect from others. When that value which I respect, adore, and expect, along with these three, when I apply it in my life, abide, assimilate, and apply it, implement it in my life, in the sense, one step ahead, it becomes my very way of life. It comes spontaneously, automatically, without any effort. Then that value is called virtue. There are plenty of values we respect, we adore, and we expect. In fact, any value that any Shastra can talk of need not be only from the Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism. All the so-called religion talk of the same values. If Hinduism talks of Satyam, another religion will not talk of Asatyam. Satyam is the value in all religions, because it is a value for a human being's lifestyle, a way of life. That being the case, it is being propagated in all the religions, in all our Shastras, in all scriptures. And interestingly, every one of us talk a lot about it. We respect, revere, adore, speak. Everywhere we find an opportunity, we speak about it. Is it not? And the best part is we expect it from the others. A smuggler also expects truthfulness from his subordinate. A thief, if he has got a few people under him, he expects them to steal from the others, but he expects them to be truthful to him. Think. So, value is one thing. Virtue is when I abide in it. So, what Ramchandraji is talking here is currently a value to all of us. How do we transform the value to a virtue depends exclusively on each and every individual for himself. This is first point. Second point. It is quite but common that all of us talk about it and talk about that with reference to others. Whether that person has got this value, this person has got this value. Once in one of my talks, I asked a question. In a school, I think, I remember it is in a school, 10th standard students I was speaking. And I asked the question, can you please name 3 very highly truthful people? 3 people you name. The first name, Mahatma Gandhi ji. Immediately, Satya Harishchandra. That's some other name they said. And then they kept quiet. What did I ask? 3 names. They told 3 names and kept quiet. None of them told their own name. None of them told their family member's name. None of them told their neighbor's name. Leave alone the country leaders. Think. When we look at these things, we will find there are values, but virtue has been a very, very, very rare commodity. Think. Therefore, what Rama talks about here, Syandana Ana, that chariot is different. He means the one who has got that chariot of virtues. He is very strong. Now look at those words. Sauraja, Dhiraja. Sauraja, the strength which I show when there are challenges coming from the outer world. And second one, Dhiraja, the strength that I show when the challenges come from my own inner world. This is one meaning which we saw yesterday. Looking at it from a different angle, Sauraja is the ability to work towards a higher goal, an ability to strive for a higher goal. And whenever we strive for a higher goal, whenever we strive for a goal which we have set, Gurudev, Param Pujya Gurudev would often say, the goal should be such high that you should not be able to reach it. Why did he say so? In case the goal is very lower and I reach it, then what? Then one may sit back. Once upon a time, the whole nation had a greatest goal: freedom, independence. 483 million people at the time gathered together. No caste, no creed, no sect, no sex, no nothing. No language bifurcation. Nothing. Everybody, 483 million people came together with one thought: freedom for the nation. They were able to forego everything and strive hard. Why? Freedom for the nation. Amazing goal. One midnight on a silver plate, Britishers gave the independence and went. Now you see what is our condition. Once that goal was reached, there has not been another higher goal, and everybody sat back and started thinking on their own for themselves. When there is no higher goal set, The mind runs behind smaller pleasures of life. Think. Now there is only personal and private goal. Selfish goals. Look at the condition of the nation today. Think. So the goal must be high. The more higher the goal is, to reach the goal, I will have to raise myself. Like for example, if I have to touch this top of the screen, if I just put my hand up and then lift my toe, probably I will be able to touch. If I have to touch the fan, I will jump a little and I might be able to touch the ceiling fan. If I have to touch the roof, it is more difficult. The more it is higher, the more my prayatna will be there. And the higher the goal, I have to raise myself higher to reach the goal. Similarly, Sauraja is a courage to find the highest goal, and whenever I have to reach a higher goal, I will always be facing a lot of obstacles, lot of difficulties, and when they come in front of me, I must have that patience. Otherwise, dheeraj, fortitude. The fortitude helps me to take all the obstacles like a shock absorber. How many times we have seen in our own little family, hardly 3 people, 4 people. Those days 30, 40 people were there in one family. The kitchen used to be like one hotel kitchen. 30, 40 people would sit and eat. The women in the house had no other job. Early morning, make coffee. While the coffee is going on, start preparing for the breakfast. While the preparation for the breakfast is going on, start preparing for the lunch. While the lunch is going on, start preparing for cleaning the vessels. By the time vessels are cleaned up, you have to start for the dinner. Think. That is how it was. Today, hardly we are 3, 4 people in a family, and 3, 4 people in a family are unable to get along. Why? Because they don't have that ability to withstand the pinpricks of life. Each one thinks of themselves and they say, I am logically correct. Everybody says. Think. And each one thinks the others don't understand. Why? That ability to withstand all the obstacles and difficulties have been lost. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam satitiksha nigatyate. We saw in Tattva Bodha, in Viveka Chodamani. Is it not? Sarva dukkhanam sahanam. What is the sahanam? Being a shock absorber, having that ability to hold on. This ability to hold on in spite of situations is called dheeraja. So the 2 means, one, strength to withstand the outer obstacles, and the other one, strength to withstand the inner disturbances, are most important, and both are equally important. If one wheel falls down, the chariot will not run in spite of having the other wheel. Think. Therefore, outer strength and inner strength to face challenges are the most important part of the chariot, the wheels. Tehi ratha chaka. Then, Satyaseela Dridha Dhvaja Pataka. Dhvaja. Dhvaja means flag, we all know. A flag represents the whole nation. Dhwaja. And in those days, every chariot had two flags. One flag represented the kingdom to which that particular warrior belonged. And the other flag represented that particular captain or general or chieftain or whoever. As long as he is alive, that flag will be there. So what would be the challenge for the opponent? They will first kill him, and having killed him, the immediate task is to remove the flag. Once the flag falls, that means all the armymen who are across, all around, if they see the flag, that means the general is fighting, they will also fight. When the flag is gone, it means the general has gone, there is no leader, therefore they will either start running or probably they will get killed or whatever. Their enthusiasm to fight, that valor to fight will go down. Therefore, that flag, those flags, two flags, must be firmly rooted. When the flags are firmly rooted, the opponent cannot shake the flag. Think. Even during our Independence Day program, all of us go for the flag hoisting. Or now, 1st November, Kannada Rajyotsava Day, flag hoisting was there. The state flag. Is it not? When the flag has to be hoisted, that pole which is tall, that pole cannot be of our height. That pole is tall. And that pole which is tall must be firmly rooted in the ground so that when I pull the string of the flag, the pole should not fall down. Flag must go up. Is it not? Think. Meaning what? The flag can go up with that, me pulling the string without uprooting the pole. It means the pole must be strong enough, well rooted. Now what are the flags here? Satya, Sila, Dridha, Dvaja. Dridha means what? Firmly rooted. And what does that mean? Bhagavan says, Satya and Sila must be Dridha in that person. What are they? Satyam, it is definitely a value. All of us look at it as a value. How much and how many of us are implementing, are living, to what extent is all subjective and relative from person to person. But as of now, definitely it is a value. And what Bhagavan says, truthfulness, Satyam, must be of such kind that come what may, I establish firmly in it. There are several narratives to it, if I can use some media language. What is that narrative? Swamiji, these days it doesn't work. A very common oft-quoted statement. Swamiji, these days it doesn't work. If you are so truthful, then you can't survive in this world. My God, how can we ever say that? And in our nationalism, what is our slogan? Satyameva Jayate Nandritam. Truth Truthfulness alone wins. Now, how is that? When we are truthful, we have nothing to fear. Think. There is nothing to fear. Why? I am truthful. In case I take to falsehood, then I have to maintain that falsehood. Think. And we have very interesting, it is a, we say it is a value. We value it from other people, how much we value. To what extent we stoop down. Somebody asks a question, what did you have for breakfast today? What that person would have had probably is one uppitu, upma. But then you say, oh, today she made a masala dosa. What was it? If I had taken upma, I would say I eat upma. Why? Status, prestige, image. Think. It starts from that smaller things actually. It can go to any extent. Each one of them have to decide which extent it goes. And you alone are the experiencer. Think. A small thing. Ask youngster, what is your salary package? Definitely whatever is there will not be the answer. They will always tell it higher. Let us suppose another person is going to an interview and the interview man asks, what was your salary in your previous company? No person has told the right answer. Why? In case I say, let us say, I was getting 3,000 rupees a month. Then the other person might only give me 3,000 or 4,000. So what do I say? I got 5,500. Simple. There was no need. Think. I am giving you some very vague, petty examples. Why? Very other examples you might get offended. Think. Now, when I say such smaller example, you can think of the bigger examples that happen in life. Think. And now to say Satyam is not a value which can be followed today. Today the life has changed in the modern era. It will not work. Is all foolish thinking. For a certain time, falsehood might appear fanciful. For a certain time, when the mind is weak, when the mind is longing for pleasure, when the mind wants to enjoy the pleasure, the mind yena kena prakarena want to enjoy those petty pleasures. Therefore, to achieve, to gain, to enjoy, to indulge all the petty pleasures, it might jump to certain wrong thinking. But the same mind cannot sleep peacefully that night. Why? Regrets. Think. The one who is firm in Satyata have no regrets. Why? Why should I regret? Once you regret, if you again come back, bounce back to Satyata, and then stay put in that, then there is no regret again. Because Satyameva Jayate. Third point. Being truthful does not require to be proved. Being truthful does not require to be established. Why? It is the truth. It is already established. I don't have to do anything. And the next point, fourth point, very interesting. You don't have to feel elated because you are truthful. If you are feeling elated because you are truthful, that means you are not. Being truthful requires no modifications. Being truthful does not require any establishing. Being truthful does not require to do anything. It is just being. Whereas falsehood cannot be established because it is false. It cannot stand the test of time. Think. And falsehood requires lot of mental and intellectual energy to remember what all I have told, whom all, at what time. Think. When I am truthful, I don't have to worry. So the one who is well established in truthful is very firm, and such a person who is established in Satyata can never be shaken. Think. Dridha. Dridha means firm. There are storms which can come. There can be a cyclone, there can be a tsunami. But if I am well established in that, come what may, I will stand in it. Think. This dhwaja, the dhwaja of truthfulness, when it is firm, there is no failure. Therefore, one of the main flags of the chariot is truthfulness. Think. And the second one is sila. Sila means shila. Shila here represents pleasant character. Sushilata. Pleasant character. Now, Sheila has got two important, there are many meanings. In fact, Sheila is a word which can never be translated rightly in any language. That is why you have to use the same word Sheila. Sheila has got two major important meanings which we will deal. There are many meanings, as I said. First meaning of Sheila which we normally use is with reference to truthfulness in terms of our physical contact with the world. Shilata. More often it is used for sexual purity. But Shilata has got plenty of meanings. Not one. And in this particular context, what Bhagavan Ramchandraji talks about, Sushilata, otherwise called, is pleasant disposition, pleasant character. Param Pujya Gurudev, if I can quote his statement, always says, you must not only be good, you must show that you are good. Oh Swamiji, doesn't it become show off? No. That is why he said, you must not only be good first. You must be good and show that you are good, because you being good and showing the goodness can inspire others also. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Yadyadacharati shreshtaha tattadeve taro janaha sahayat pramanam kurute lokaha tat anuvartate. अयं लोकः यत् श्रेष्ठ पुरुषः कुरुते लोकः तदेव अनुवर्तते. People only follow. You know, that is why it is said, everybody can have followers. Or rather, everybody can follow anybody. To be a leader requires firm commitment and living the value. Now see, Sheila, when it is said here, it says pleasant disposition. In this particular context, it is pleasant communication. I often give an example. I will tell you one statement. You know how the way of speaking, how the tone of expression matters. For example, one statement. Hamsananda was a good boy. Statement. Simple statement. Hamsananda was a good boy. Now I will tell it in different tone. You will rightly understand each and every tone, and you will also come to understand the difference between the tones. Hamsananda was a good boy. First tone. Second tone. Hamsananda was a good boy. Do you see the difference? Third tone. Hamsananda was a good boy. Think. Hamsananda was a good boy. Think. Sentence is the same, but how it is presented is different. Very many times when we want to tell a particular item to the others, how we communicate is very, very important. Let us suppose here is a person whom you see there is something wrong according to you. This good and bad are so subjective. We cannot define and we cannot declare. Decide also. Because it is only from my angle. What is actually the truth from the other person's angle, I will not know. Because what I see need not be true. What I hear need not be true. It can be totally different, but my interpretation can be different. So what I see somebody, a person, and I see some act of his, and I say, what are you doing? It is wrong. Don't do it. That person will first get offended, and second, he will next avoid you, rather than thinking what he has done is right or wrong. Think. Now see, very beautiful example we have in Ramayana itself. Ramchandra ji was called by Dasharath ji, and he said, my dear son, the whole kingdom is looking forward to you taking over the reins. Therefore, tomorrow morning you will be, Pattabhisheka will be done, and you will take over as the king of Ayodhya. Therefore, you please go to the Guru, ask them there are certain rituals and some vratas have to be taken up. So you please go consult the Guru and accordingly you take up those vratas. Ramchandra ji initially must probably have had some whatever the opinion. He agreed, he just obeys. And he went, he took up to the next day morning, Dasharatha calls and tells, you are exiled for 14 years. You have to go to forest. Bharata will take over. No change in Ramchandraji's moods. In that he expressed joy. And then he goes to his mother. When he goes to his mother, in case it was you and I, we will go and complain. Is it not? Think. We will go and complain. Why? How can it be? I am the person, rightful person. I am the rightful heir for the kingdom. I have to be given. Why am I have to? Why should I be exiled for 14 years? What mistake have I done? I am going. My God. And in this era, people are ready to kill their parents for the sake of property, petty property. Think. We come empty-handed. We go empty-handed. We can't carry even 1 naya paisa coin. Why? 1 blade of grass you cannot take. And within the segment of time, for the sake of property, for the sake of gaining things and everything, we create so much of noise. Previous day, you will be coronated tomorrow as the king. Next day morning, you are exiled. Look at the mental status of Bhagavan Ramchandraji. He goes to his mother. And there he has to inform his mother that he has to go to the forest. Mother will be shattered. How will he communicate to his mother? Such beautiful words. Ramchandraji does not go and tell his mother, father has asked me to go to the forest. And he, no. This is called Sheila. He says, Pita Deenan Mohi Kanan Raju. Pita Deena Mohi Kanan Raju. Hey mother, the father has given me the kingdom of forests. What is that information there? I am going to the forest. He could have told, I am going to the forest, father has sent me to the forest. You and I would have done that. But the words used, Pita, father, Mohi Kanana Raju Deenana. He has given me. This expressing whatever is the truth in a pleasant way without hurting others. Is such a beautiful quality. There is one more beautiful example. With that I will stop for the day. Param Puja Gurudev was speaking at a congregation organized by the RSS in Andhra. And it was in a particular very small town or something where people are not much very educated. Therefore, what Gurudev spoke, Gurudev's language was an amazing language he had, vocabulary. So there was a person to translate what Gurudev had said. A translator must know everything, whatever is being spoken that particular language, and he also have to cater to the way it has to be translated and presented. So when Gurudev spoke, every sentence he had to translate. While he translated, for the sake of the audience, for them to understand it properly, he probably used 2 or 3 words excessively to make them understand. And whenever the audience understood, they responded with shaking their heads probably, or looking at each other and smiling, or probably they must have said yes, correct, some many ways of expression. When they were expressing that, Gurudev was watching. And After the talk was over, Gurudev expressed the translation was better than the original. Look at the compliment. The translation was better than the original. He brought that beautiful love towards that person through that statement, you have done better than me. How many of us would be ready to say so? This is called Sushilatvam. Whatever we want to communicate to the wife, to the son, to the daughter, to the neighbor, parents, that communication skill is called Sushilata. That is why it is said, Satyam Priyam Hitam Chavada. You have to speak the truth. You must speak beautifully and you must speak only when it is helping the other people. Satya Sila Dridhadvaja Pataka. We will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om